15K, 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 40K, 30K, 30K. And then the next morning I woke up, I was like, oh, I hit the mill. It kind of just made me, I would say, greedy in a bit. I wanted more the whole time. In the time span of 2022 to 2023, I bought something like, I think around 12 or 13 funded challenges. And I only passed 3 of them.
Episode of Market Masters, where I sit down with the most talented and prominent traders in the industry. And a big shout out to Octa for making this possible, this Cape Town tour possible, and bring us this side. Yeah, and today I've got a very esteemed guest with me. He claims that he is shy, but ever since we got here, you've had the conversation. I've got Garin Hoole with me. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
No, I'm great. Thank you so much for making time for us today.
I have a lot of time on my hands, actually.
Life of a trader, right? Yeah, I think it's that what a lot of people are aspiring to is that time freedom that comes with trading. And I think, you actually realize that a bit more the more you kind of just live your life day to day, where you're able to just do stuff that we usually used to see like your older guys in the retirement, like being able to just be relaxed during the week,
for sure,
anytime. Now,
do whatever you want, whenever you want.
I think that's what we're chasing at the end of the day, the time freedom, money freedom as well. And guys, apologies for the sound again. There is construction happening and there's not much we can do, so we do apologize, but we hope you guys can still hear us throughout the interview. Garin, thank you so much for coming. Let's get into it. So obviously, I'd like to believe that people who know you, there are some people who don't know who you are. But I think we're all here to get to know who Garin is, what makes you tick on and off the charts as well. But obviously, who is Garin Hoole, or like who was Garin Hoole before you even got into Forex?
So I was actually born in Kimberley, Northern Cape. I lived there in a small town called Postmasburg. I mean, it's basically this small. So we moved there when I was around 6, 7 to Knysna. Lived there for 5 years. And after that, we moved to Ceres. So Ceres was probably where I spent most of my life. I was there in primary school since grade 6 up until high school, obviously grade 12. And then after that, I went to study in Cape Town. I was in a PGA golf academy. So I was never going to work 9 to 5. Either it's being a professional sportsman or we'll figure something out. But I studied there. It was a 3-year diploma.
Was it intense, or what were you guys doing there? Actually?
So it's a little bit of, obviously, like, I can say, studies as well, like actual physical studies, but it's everything regarding going into the direction of golf. So managing a golf club, a estate, being more towards the physio side, muscles, greenkeeping, everything literally regarding golf. And then obviously very practical. It's practicing every single day, hours and hours and hours, gym. It was really, it's hectic because it's every day, let's say 7 in the morning till some days it can keep you up to like 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. So you'll be at the driving range, then you'll have a gym session, then you'll have on-course training. So it's a lot. And then weekends is usually tournaments time. So there's not a lot of free time, I would say, even over the weekends. And if there is, you're tired, you want to rest.
Trading without fees. Now that's possible with Octa. Octa has no commissions on deposits and withdrawals, no swaps or fees. Get your gains in full and earn more in the long run. Trade with spreads from 0.2 pips on majors, metals, and indices and more with Octa. Execute orders always at market price and withdraw money on time when you need it. Conditions can't get any better with Octa. See for yourself. Use the promo code top trader, and get 100% deposit bonus. Trading made clear with Okta. Yeah, because I think a lot of people tend to look at golf and we see golf as this like sport where it's like it's relaxed.
It's
like,
so chill.
You don't need to do much. Just go there and swing.
Bro, it's so hectic. Especially like if you become like more to the pro side of it.
Okay.
Because tournaments will be like, Thursdays, Fridays, and if you make the cut, which is the top half, you play Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you start again. Practice. Tuesday, Wednesday, prepare, Thursday again. Same thing over and over. So you're literally like traveling all over the place. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. That time I was trying to get to the pro side.
Okay.
And I think I definitely had the talent for it. A lot of people are still upset with me that I stopped playing.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't intend on stopping to play. So that's kind of where trading just came in. So I actually had a drop shipping business, which was really small, like made a couple of grand, nothing major. It was quite a struggle, to be honest, but I had a friend that guided me a bit. He was doing quite well himself with that. And my coach saw that my full attention was not with golf. So I had to make a decision. So I sold the shop back to my mate, and then I focused on golf strictly. And in my third year, that was kind of like the year where I did the best, performance well with golf. I was doing really well, I would say. A lot of tournaments, just breaking like my course records, playing consistent. And then I got a injury while I was in Eisner for a tournament. Got a back injury, and that set me out for like, I think it was like 5-6 months.
Just out of curiosity, how do you get an injury from playing? Was it from playing?
Yeah, I was literally, it was a day before the tournament. So I was on the driving range just hitting a few balls, and all of a sudden, like, it just felt like my back went ice cold and I couldn't move.
Hectic.
So it was obviously a muscle tear.
Okay.
But I couldn't breathe. I was just sitting there like, what the heck just happened? Because I did warm up and everything. Just happened. And after that, that's kind of where I started sitting down. Well, I can't do anything now. I want to make money. And that's kind of where I started just focusing on trading every single day. I would go to class. I would do like a gym session, but like more rehab and yoga type of thing. And then rest of the day is just trading. But back in 2019, there wasn't a lot of content regarding trading as obviously as today.
Yeah.
So I stumbled across baby pips at some point. And I was like, well, it looks like it's kind of proper. So in the beginning, all I used was some student money that I had left for the month. So it's like 500 to 1,000, depending on how much I spend and what I do, buy food, petrol, all that. And it was a struggle. I got into trading in 2018, but just like little bit, testing it, obviously. But 2019, I think it was 9 months that I just lost money every month. Lost the account, blew it. Lost the account, blew it. Lost the account.
And this time, this is like the student money that you're getting every month.
Yes, so it's small amounts, but still, it's like I could have went out rather now that I lost it. I could have gone to the movies, could have went out with mates, could have bought a game. Yeah.
But at this point, did you think it was because you didn't really know what you were doing on the charts, or were you just trying to replicate what you found on Baby Pips?
That's the thing. Like at that time, I remember like I kind of have an idea of what I'm supposed to do. Identifying a trend or something basic, but entries was like off. Yeah. And sometimes I actually did not get the structure right. Like I was looking maybe at like internal structure and rather like exterior. So it was difficult. Yeah. But there was times where I gave up for sure. Like a lot of times, like, nah, I'm done with this. It's not going to work. And 2 days later, I found myself back on it. I was just like addicted to it. And end of 2019, I started making withdrawals. Started to figure something out. Yeah. And I remember it was like a 500 Rand, and it was 750 Rand. I was still with JP Markets back then. And that's kind of where my confidence just kicked in. I was like, well, I got it right now, so let's keep it going. And quickly I got to a point where it was still in 2019. I think it was like November, December. I started making like 2,000 a week. quite happy with it, but then went on holiday, spent the money that I had, and I finished studying 2019, got my diploma, and then 2020.
Yeah.
That's the year everything, like, that's the craziest year of my life. So a lot happened, behind the scenes, personal life. Like, our parents got divorced, and it wasn't something I really expected to happen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like disappointment there. But and then right after that, the 5th of Jan is my mom's birthday. She told me and my sister she has breast cancer.
Gee.
So I was like, okay, well, what else does life want to throw at me now? Like, damn, that's everything at the same time.
Yeah.
So I moved back to my mom. She lived in Greyton at that time. She moved there after Cirrus. She moved there in 2019 end. And then that's where everything started. So in the beginning, I had to look after my mom's shop for a bit. So I just open up and kind of just manage it a little bit. Yeah. But up until she found someone to full-time take over that position for her. And my trading kicked off quite early in that year. Like in Jan, I didn't have money. I spent all my money on obviously the holiday. And then the last bit I bought a course actually.
Okay.
From a famous he's from the US, Daniel Savage.
Okay.
Bought his course. There was something in that course that just worked with me. Like, it just clicked. I was like, I'm going to test this with what I'm doing at the moment. And it just made sense. It just played out, I would say, most of the time.
But at this point, the previous year, you were already making money on the charts consistently, correct?
Yes. It was consistent, but it's more of like a battle. I have to battle to get on the profit side type of thing.
Oh, so there's like more like you're fighting for the money rather than...
Definitely. It was fighting. And then eventually I'm like so tired. I'm like, I'm stopping here. I'm profitable. Withdraw. But then, after that course, everything changed. And obviously, didn't have money, so I asked my mom if she can sponsor me. So she sponsored me for 1,000 rand. That first week after that course, I took the 4K to 16K. That's the most I've ever made. The biggest trades, everything just hit perfectly. Everything just worked out. I think I only lost like one trade that week, I would say out of 8. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was like, well, this is it. I got it now, so let's keep it going. Yeah. But there was something that happened. It's called like a market freeze. We call it the freeze with JP Markets, where the server froze, but you can still enter trades. And on TradingView, I remember this day. So I deposited 12K. Yeah. So the other 4K is still in my wallet. And I'm in a trade. I entered a few trades on NAS. I remember it was sales. I still literally have the whole screen recording. Oh, yeah? 16 minutes. Oh, yeah. No, I'll show you afterwards.
We'll put it on the screen while we're talking.
So I have that. So I think I had 12K account. I had trades running, but like minimal. I was risking nothing big. And all of a sudden the market is just not moving at all on MetaTrader. So I go on TradingView and NAS is like plummeting. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? Like, I've never seen this. This is weird. And then I messaged Clint Festix because I knew him at that point in time. And I messaged him. I was like, what the heck is going on? And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, NAS is like frozen on MetaTrader, but it's moving on TradingView. And he said, wait, just hang on. And he comes back. It's like, bro, enter as much sales as you can. Max it, everything. You'll just trust me. And I'm back and forth with Clint's chat and MetaTrader on the phone. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Yeah. And I'm like, I can't do that, man. What if something goes wrong and I lose all the money? Yeah. So, okay, I enter a little bit more. And I'm like, I have nothing to lose. I can just make it again. So I entered, kept on entering. I didn't actually max it out, but I think I got enough entries. Yeah. And after 12 minutes, the market started moving again, but like super slow-mo. And all of a sudden, boom, it unfreezes. And I'm like in 43,000 Rand profit. Nice. So I was like, what the heck just happened? I'm shaking there. I'm trying to close my trades, shaking. Yeah. And I made like I think it was 43K that day I made. Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm sitting on like 60K in like 3 weeks' time. Sure. And I was shocked because I've never had that much money in my life. Yeah. I've never really seen that type of money. So now that I have it, I was like, yo, that's mad. Yeah. And after that, I think I deposited a smaller account again, like 20K or so. And I traded it normally I was flipping hitting the charts. Yes, the confidence was there.
Yeah,
Everything
no,
was just
but
hitting.
what is normally now? What do you mean by normally? Because right now you just took 12K to 60K.
Yeah. So yeah, I calmed down after that.
Okay.
But at that time, my confidence was just, I can do this every day.
Yeah.
And I know I can. Type of thing. I know I will. So I was hitting it every day. Like I was risking quite a lot. Actually, I would say I probably risked like 20% of my account per trade.
Sure.
30%, 20%, something like that. But that whole year, fast forward to March. So like 3 months later, 27 March is my birthday. Plus it was the first day of lockdown.
Oh yeah.
That night, I hit R1 million in my wallet.
What?
Yeah, R1 million.
Wait. Let's backtrack a little bit. So in 2020, right?
Yeah.
And mind you, in Jan, your mom gave you 4K.
4K.
And by 27 March, your wallet. Wait, you have to break it down for us because
I took
that's quite a leap.
Crazy risks, like crazy. I was risking whole accounts, but it was like 100K account, 50K account. I was max leveraging. I just felt like I couldn't lose at that time. So when I got to around like 300, 400K, my wallet, there was another market freeze. So I funded a 200K account.
Yeah.
Quickly. That happened in the morning around 2 or 3. I'll show you the screenshot.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep at that time. I just wanted to make money every day. So I was on the charts the whole day, every day. And that morning, I think it was around 3 o'clock. I was on the charts looking at it, and Nash froze again. And I was like, I'm going to go big now. I'm going to go big. So I funded a 200K account.
Yeah.
And I entered the trade. Yes, it was scary because I entered the trade and immediately it showed me minus 50, minus 60K.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, flip, this thing just... And then the thing didn't even move a lot. I think it was only like 30 pips, a 30 pip move. And luckily it unfroze. And it unfroze in 360K profit. So there, I banked another 360K. All of a sudden, I'm sitting on like 600K in my wallet.
Are you withdrawing anything at this point?
At that point, there was something wrong with withdrawals. I can't remember. So it was backlogged. I haven't received withdrawals. I chatted to what's his name, John Paul or JP from JP Markets, Justin, sorry, and Clint Fester, obviously. I asked them what's happening because that was with Trade Nexus. So Trade Nexus was Clint and Darren Dix's broker, but it was part of JP Markets.
Yeah.
So they said, no, it's just on backlog. It will happen. Just give it time, a month or so. I was like, that's kind of one of the reasons why I just went mad. Like, risked everything because I thought I wasn't going to get anything.
Oh.
I literally believed I wasn't
going to get it. So right now,
you
just like your trading was money that you're probably never going to see at this point.
That's what I believed at that point. I think it was around after that trade.
Yeah.
It was like I had 600K. I was like, well, I'm not going to see it. So let's trade. Let's keep on going. And then...
And the thing is, there's a quote by Warren Buffett. I actually have written here. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. So it's just like...
It was mad.
Yeah.
I remember all the feelings and everything. Then I'm super happy. Then I'm in the gut. I'm not going to receive the money. Then there's like hope again. Then there's not hope. It was a roller coaster. And I remember I started like funding 100K. I took that 100K with one trade to 500K. Max leverage again on NAS. I'll show you that. I have literally every
you're trading
screenshot.
A demo at this point.
Yes, that's what it felt like.
And you're convinced that you're trading a demo. So at this point, risk is like, it's not even part of the equation. It's just like, hey.
Plus, I got like angry at them. So I was like, I'm angry. I'm just going to max leverage this, see what happens. 100 went to 500. I think we closed it on 400 on the dot. And then after that, I think I hit, like I was on like 900K. And that night of my birthday, that night I made like 173K. That was just from scalping. So obviously I was catering a bit. The drinks were flowing. And me and my mate, I told him, come, we're going to trade. And he traded small at that time. I think the most he made was a couple of grand. Like I would say like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That night we sat at a table. I traded, he traded, told him, okay, cool, we buy, we sell, we buy, we sell. I think he made like almost 20K that night. I made 173. And then the next morning I woke up, I was like, oh, I hit the mill. So it was like quite a cool milestone. And then after that, I just traded the account. That 100K that I took to 500, I kept on just scalping. So I kept on scalping. I took it to, I think, 800, 830 or 820. And then I withdrew the full amount. And I was sitting at that time around like 1.3, 1.4. The last 300K, I ended somewhere around 1.6 around June. I funded like a 20K.
So and still at this point, you're still convinced that
I'm not going to get it.
And you're being told that withdrawals are going to take time.
Yes.
Are you still having conversation? Are you still asking? Are you still inquiring?
Still asking. There was like a little bit of hope still, but it was just like, if it happens, it happens. If not, flip, that's going to suck.
Okay, but what else is happening in your life at this point? Because if you're just trading and you have this belief of, hey, I'm going to get this money, but obviously you still need to continue living your day-to-day life. What's happening in life?
Actually, that 60K that I made in the beginning, I withdrew that.
Okay.
So that I got that. 40K, I got that. So I bought me a new laptop because my old one was like so slow.
Yeah.
Bought me a MacBook, and then I bought... Oh, just before lockdown, I got more withdrawals, a couple. I think I, at that time, withdrew something like 60K altogether.
Okay.
And just before lockdown, I think like 2-3 days before, I went to Cape Town and I bought an Xbox because I'm like, I have a PS4 at that time already. I'm like, I have that. I want an Xbox now. I need enough games for this lockdown.
Yeah.
And my mate, I asked him, buy one as well because I don't have friends that plays on Xbox. And I told him buy one. He's like, and he also traded with me. So we all made money at that time. So he made the most he's ever made. And he's like, no, he's not going to buy it. And I'm like, oh, cool, come to the mall. And I bought him one as well. I went home, and then that's kind of where I had some money. So I ordered stuff from Takealot, you know, like some cool stuff for the setup, LEDs and all that. So at that time, all I did was I just woke up, trade, play games with friends. It's like mid-lockdown. And every Thursday, I had to take my mom to chemo, which was in Somerset West. So it's like an hour and 10 minutes drive or so. So that's everything I did. That's all. Every day, same thing. And now back to the last 300K that I made was just fund the 20K, the challenge, try and take it to 100K. And then I did that. And I documented that on Instagram, everything. And that's kind of where I got so many, like, not many. It's like, I think I gained like 2,000 or 3,000 followers in like that 2 months or something. Yeah. And then I started doing giveaways. I started giving away like 3K on Instagram. I did like...
But you haven't received the rest of the... Have you received the rest of the money at this point?
No, at that point I had like 80K in my bank. That's it. Yeah. Everything else, nothing I haven't received.
Everything's in the wallet.
Yes. Now this is where it started getting insane. So this one day, I woke up. So I actually thought my mom was calling me to do something in the house or get something or whatever. Because I think my phone is going like zzz, 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 zzz. I'm like, yeah, it's someone's calling me. And I look at my phone, it's just notifications. It's like Standard Bank. And it's like 40K, 15K, 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 40K, 30K, 30K. Everything is just coming. I'm like, what? And I look at my balance, and my balance is sitting on like 300 and something, but it's more coming in.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the flip is happening? Yeah. It's insane. So I think from that withdrawal, I received like 450K. Sure. And then the next came in the next week. So I ended up around like having a mil, basically. So then JB Market shut down. Yeah. The other 600K is still in the wallet. Yeah. Can't withdraw it. Now that's where I started trading, and I took like a 300K loss over like a month's time.
Sure.
After that, I told myself I'm done. That's where I told you. That's where I took the break. Yeah. That was around July-ish, I would say.
Yeah.
Stopped, and then I bought my car, the BMW, and I bought my mom gifts. I bought my sister gifts. Takealot opened up again, so I was just shopping. I was going crazy. And then, at that time, I was just playing games with friends. Life felt like a dream, to be honest. I have all the money here. I have the car that I always wanted. just playing games every day. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to study. I don't have to work. Like, it just felt so good. It honestly felt like I won the lottery. That's how it felt like.
I can imagine.
Bro, I was living life. I was like, yo, I can get used to this, man. This is like stuff I always dreamed of. I didn't believe like it can actually come true. That's the thing. But I took a break, enjoyed life. Came back in 2021, started trading fresh.
Okay, but let's actually go back to, obviously, the money eventually comes in.
Yeah.
And then you end up losing 300K on the charts again.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think that's very important. And I always mention this, is that, after you get like some sort of a breakthrough, if you can call it that, where you make quite a bit of money that you've never seen before.
For sure.
I think a lot of us we're walking high at that point. We feel invincible. We feel like, hey, no, the charts, we own the charts.
Own the charts, yeah. That's how I felt, for sure.
And then we just go back and it's just like, no, this is how it is. So,
I'm humbled.
But like, did you think, obviously, I think your psychology for making the money was probably in the best place it could have been, because you were just like, I'm not getting this money.
Exactly.
It's okay. So
there's like basically no risk.
Yeah, there's no emotion as well attached to it. It's just, maybe the emotion was probably like minimal.
Yeah.
At best, Like,
it was amazing. Like even my overall psychology back then was just, I actually fully believed I can't lose a trade.
Sure.
Like when I enter a trade, there's not even 1% of my brain being like, I hope this plays out. It was just, I know it's going to play out, but how much is it going to be? Which I've been trying to get back to that type of mindset, but it's been so difficult. So I honestly felt like it was just a gift from above back then. The mindset, what happened through the times, just there's something cool to cover me. But it's been the mental side of trading was mostly easy for me. I've always just been such a confident, positive person, always.
Okay.
Like with anything I take on, like with sports, for example, I think I started playing hockey in grade 4, 5, and I told myself I was playing like for the D team or E team or something. I told myself in a year or two's time, I want to have like provincial colors, and I did that, and I got it 5 or 6 years in a row. With every sport I did, I got provincial colors. So it's just like, I knew I was going to get it. I know I can. It's like, it is achievable.
Yeah.
But I always had this mindset of like, if someone else can do it, then obviously I can do it. And who says I can't even do it like better? So I just always felt like confident, positive in whatever I do. So with trading, it came in clutch, obviously. But after that loss, I was like, well, I'm going to take a break now. I don't want to lose more money. Let me just get everything back together, because obviously behind the scenes and personal life, a lot was also draining, me mentally. And after that break.
Sorry, we're still on the loss. I'm just getting from the psychology switch over from making so much money to now you're losing now.
Yes.
And like, what's happening right now? You're taking losses, because right now you say you believed you couldn't take a loss.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden,
the losses started happening.
Yeah.
So that kind of, how can I say, it definitely, I wouldn't say humbled me, because I wasn't really, in an arrogant way. I just felt like I'm really trading well. I'm good at what I'm doing. And after that losses happened, I think I was like funding 50K. And the thing is, it could have gone both ways. I was in profit most of the time. Like I was running like 30, 40K profit, and I leave it. Like I just want to leave it for another like big runner. And then it comes back. And then obviously when I go in drawdown, I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to hold everything. Maybe, it comes up, and then started losing. Then I make again like 40K, 30K. Then I lose like 50. So in the long run, I lost like, I think it was 280, 300 that I lost. And I just told myself, well, I don't want to lose anymore. Let me just get my mind right again. Because at that time, I was starting to get reckless.
Yeah.
Even after those losses, I didn't really feel bad, because I'm like, I've never had this much money already. So that 300K is not going to bother me at all.
Yeah.
So it didn't really affect me, I would say, emotionally, because I lost money. It affected me because I'm losing. Why am I not winning type of thing? So I just completely took a break from trading. I wanted to get my mind right. Obviously in that time now, I'm like, okay, well, I can try and go full-time trader now. I have enough funds to, you know, look after myself and everything and give it like a solid go. And yeah, that was the game plan. So every day, like since I started trading in 2019, I have like 2 or 3 trading diaries that's full. So I've been writing every day that I've traded since 2019.
Sure.
Goals, how I'm feeling for the day. Did I take a win? Did I take a loss? And what's my feelings like?
Like even during the winning period.
Yes.
So have you ever gone back to that period where you were winning?
That's what I did whenever I go through like a little bit of a losing or tough phase.
Yeah.
I go back and I read through my diaries and I read through everything. It kind of picks me up again because I've done it there.
Yeah.
I can do it again.
Yeah.
And then I go through the screenshots on my phone because every single trade I documented. I think it's like over 300 screenshots from that time. I work through it and then I feel motivated again. I feel like, I can do this because, you know, trading is difficult. I've gone through a phase where, it's been up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm not going anywhere. I was just stuck. I'm not losing and I'm not making. I'm literally just looking after myself month in, month out. Nothing gained, just living, you know, where I am now. And it was for roughly, I would say, a year. To be honest, it happened beginning 2021. I went into funded accounts, FTMO, tried to do that. And lost like the first 3 accounts. I lost that. The 4th one I got, it was 100K. And then I think I made 1 or 2 withdrawals off of that thing, and then I lost it. Daily target with the news. But never forget that day. I was flipping bummed. But anyways, then after that, I think after losing that account, I tried again. I lost another 1 or 2, and I was trading a personal at the time as well. It was quite a decent personal. I think it was like a 50K or 100K account, and you know, just making like 20K a month. That's the target. 20K, 30K, something like that.
Okay.
Just to obviously maintain everything till I get to that point where I feel like I'm in control now again, and then I can start, you know, moving again with lots. And it was up and down. Then I make 30, 40, then I lose 20, 30. Then I make 30, 40, then I lose. It's just, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying literally at the same spot.
Yeah.
And that was like for months, to be honest. I think it was like 3 months, 4 months it happened. Then to the end of 2021, it started kicking off again. So I made another like few $100,000, started moving lacquer again.
This is on the personal side, right?
Yes, personal side. I actually stopped with the prop firm stuff, and then I started again with that. I think beginning 2020.
Yeah, but like the mindset shift from moving over from personal funds, because obviously what I'm understanding is that the risk appetite at this point is quite big, actually.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're depositing 50K accounts, you're looking to just hit it out the park, honestly, at this point.
I trade quite aggressively as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but now when you switch over to funded accounts,
that
mindset,
I must be honest,
shift.
If it was not for funded accounts, I wouldn't have been here today where I am now. Funding or funded accounts has taught me so much, not just, you know, skill wise and risk management wise, but psychology wise, like a lot. You know, I have to risk this much. A trading plan, you know, like managing a trade, you know, stop loss trailing, you know, how to maximize your win and how to minimize your loss type of thing. I think, funded accounts just was kind of like my savior in like safety for trading. You know, you can't risk that much every single time. It's too risky. You know, you need to make a living out of this, obviously. So you can't imagine you go through a tough phase, because there is tough phases at all time. It's the market. It happens. We're human. So after with funded accounts, I remember it was a struggle. Like, it was such a different thing for me, risking 1% now. And like what's the risk to reward ratio I'm going for this trade? Like, I got so technical with the psychology side and the risk management side of trading, where it taught me so much. Like, I remember it was like a complete mind shift. After that mind shift, trading felt like a breeze type of again. Just felt easy, and it felt a lot more stress-free. And yeah, I think that's why that winning phase came again late in 2021.
Okay.
And it was definitely, I was risking like proper amounts. Even with the personal, I was risking, I think like 10% at max, depending on how I'm feeling with the trade. So I have like a certain amount of confirmations I want. I'll only take the trade if it has like, let's say for example, 3 of my confirmations. But if it has the 4 or 5, that's when I go a little bit bigger. Because to me, what I've learned over the past few years is, you know, you got to risk it for the biscuit. You can't play it safe your life type of thing. And that's why I kind of like classify some of my trades I take. This is like, I'll risk 50% of what I usually risk, or this is like full risk for this one. So full risk 1% or 2%, depending on obviously where I am. If I'm floating like 4 or 5% in profit on a prop account, then nothing stops me from, you know, risking a little bit bigger for a trade that can possibly pay out big. So then I risk like 2 or 3% on one trade to make something like 6 or 9. And that's kind of where I got the jumps and that leaps of the extra amount of money, basically, not just the safe way the whole time.
Yeah.
But obviously, it takes time. It takes a lot. Also, like if I'm feeling a bit down for the day or something is not lekker, then I won't trade. Usually, I've literally looked at some of the days that I lost, and it's usually days where I was not on top of my game that day. I felt a bit off, down. And then taking a loss after feeling like that makes you feel so much worse.
Yeah.
So now you go into a new trading day with that mindset instead of not trading. I mean, you can't lose money if you're not trading. So when you trade, you want to like be 100% certain on this setup. Like, this is the best possible setup I can take, because obviously you want to make money and not lose. So it's just been, it was the mental battle, I would say, after making that money, that phase from 2021 till 2022, I would say, end of 2022, that was the time where my mind was just busy the whole time. I was figuring things out. I was improving a lot on the mental side, but also the technical side and the psychology side of the trading, prop firms, and then personal accounts. It's so much different, but yeah, it was crazy. It was definitely, I would say, the most difficult phase in my trading career.
Yeah.
For sure. That year was hell, kind of. I got so frustrated, you know, trading every single day or trying to trade every single day, but it's just not going the way it used to, and the way you planning it to go is just, it drains you, especially if it's like such a long period. But yeah, it was, most of the days I was a bit down. I was like, what's going on? You know, like, I am trading well, but then I wasted on like a stupid trade. I'm like, come on, like, you know what to do. You know what to do. You know your confirmations. Don't do this. Like, relax, take it easy. And yeah, it was this, getting the discipline right at that time was the main focus. You know, when I'm in a trade, hold it till TP. If not, then stop loss trail it. You know, try and maximize the win as much as possible. But then obviously to the discipline side, the amount of money that I was trading felt big at that time, simply because I haven't been banging like flipping massive 6-figure trades and stuff like in the past. So trading now with like making, you know, 10, 20K trade just felt small, and that irritated me for some reason. I think that was one of the biggest reasons I was struggling, was because I tried to go bigger again,
so you
and rush it.
You had to scale down at this point.
Yes, because now I'm like risking properly. I'm risking 1%. I'm risking max on a personal 5 to 10 still. But I wasn't happy with the amount, and that's, I don't know why. Like, now if I think back, I'm like, why did I think like that? Honestly.
Yeah, because I think we focus so much on scaling up.
Yeah.
We never think about considering the fact that sometimes maybe we need to scale down. To get back way. Because I think at some point, like you say, you were trying to get, or you were so used to hitting 6-figure trades at some point. So this kind of felt like
it felt like I'm getting nothing, which is just crazy to think like that. I mean, like, I was super young, obviously. Now I could see how quickly you can make this type of money, quick. And yeah, obviously I'm inexperienced. I'm not used to that type of money anyway. So now having that and seeing that I can make that, on a daily basis or monthly or weekly or whatever, it kind of just made me, I would say, greedy in a bit. I wanted more the whole time. And that's why, with small trades like small, it's not even small, it's just a lot of money. With the smaller trades like that, it annoyed me. And that kind of was my downfall for quite some time. So yeah, like I said, I think I spent a lot of money. I would say like I bought in the time span of 2022 to 2023, I bought something like 12, I think around 12 or 13 funded challenges. And I only passed 3 of them. So, but obviously the 3 that I passed paid for everything back.
Okay.
And that was with my Forex funds.
Yeah.
They closed down.
Yeah.
I lost my 2 accounts that I have with them. And I went back to personal. But I took a break. So another break. That was end of last year, 2023.
Yeah.
Took a break and just enjoyed life. I was trading quite well at that time, really well. I was doing really well. I was back to kind of where I want to get and want to be. So I was happy with the trading, happy with life. Everything is just super chilled and I'm enjoying it, building, obviously, growing. And at that time, I just felt I'm happy now with my mindset. I'm happy with everything. It's just fallen back into place. But it took me 2 years kind of to get back to that point. But yeah, there was just some months, obviously, is much bigger months than other months. Some other months are, I think the worst case scenario, I haven't had really like negative, like heavy month. But I see a break-even month as a losing month because obviously expenses, I need to pay for things, obviously. So if I have break-even, I have expenses, it's a negative month for me.
Yeah,
but
just running a business.
Exactly. But yeah, other than the trading side, I obviously started my own group as well.
Okay.
So the reason behind that is actually I was never planning on doing that. So I started working for this company here in Cape Town, Aspire FX. So they did mentorships. They offered like trading, services basically. And I worked for them simply because I wanted to obviously move back here, get into a trading environment because all my friends stopped trading. They all stopped. I had no one that I knew that traded, but I always wanted to have like friends to trade with, talk with. And they had an insane office, like trading office. Like it was unbelievable. So I was like, yo, that'll be heaven to trade there and work with the guys, obviously. So I took that. And with high demands of like people DMing them now, their socials, and saying like, do Garin offer mentorships? And they're like, no, but we're working on something. So they came to me with a proposal that I must mentor people. And if I want to, but the nice guy that I am, I don't want to say no to them. I was like, yeah, I'll do it, but can I just have like a little bit at a time then, or something like that? And I started mentoring people, and my first student did really well. After a year, he came to me and he made like 6 figures, almost 7 figures. He did really well. Then another guy came to me, he got funded, made good money, and he's in the position to stop working. He's quit his job. And I think he was a gym instructor. He worked at a gym. I can't remember. But then after seeing that, I was like, but the emotion, and I see how much it means to them and their family and everything. I was like, I feel good. I feel successful through helping people actually. And I think that kind of sparked that I want to continue helping people, but I stopped working for the company. And I just mentored people. If you know type of thing. If you message me and ask like, dude, can you mentor me? Obviously, I don't do it for free. I did do it for free in the past, the first few people, and they wasted my time. They weren't serious at all.
True.
And I charged, I think like 4K or something. I was like, 4K, I think that's a good amount. I don't know. And I didn't advertise or nothing. It's just like if you know and you ask, then cool. And that was 2022. And I mentored one of my mates as well. He's also a friend of Keegan. And he really started catching on quite quickly. He had an account that he got from like his uncle or something. It was like 30K, 40K. He's trading with it, but he lost a bit. That's when he started with me. And I think he grew it back after like 2-3 months, grew it back, and then he bought a FTMO 200K challenge. And he passed the challenge. And his first month he was in drawdown. So I told him, relax, you're not going for, a payout this month. Just try and recover account and then a payout next month. And he made a 134,000 withdrawal. And he was also in my golf academy. So we knew each other. And still till today we mates. And yeah, I think after that I saw that, people are actually showing good results. It's not like I'm not expecting them to have good results. It's just like, it just feels like it's such a cheat code type of thing. Like I'm actually making a difference. So I started my group in 2022. I think it was end of the year. Yeah, I think like August, somewhere there. And at that time I added everybody that I've mentored so far. So it was a couple of people. I think it was like 18 or so. And yeah, fast forward till today now, I just have over 200. But everybody knows I don't flip and advertise nothing. I don't feel like advertising. I feel like, for me, I'm trying to build a community where everybody trades together, but real traders, like real proper knowledge. If someone struggles with something, we share thoughts, we trade together. So I just wanted to basically create my own friends with likewise knowledge.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going really well, obviously. I love the group. I love the gents in there. It's I love it. It's like a hobby mostly.
Yeah.
Because I charge quite cheap, to be honest, at the moment. Like, to me, I don't care. Like, the money I make from the group is like nothing.
Yeah.
I basically get like 1 or 2 members a month.
Yeah.
And it's 2,000 rand. So that's like cool petrol money. I'm sorted.
Yeah, no, I get you. Okay, so I want to ask, do you think your days in like in the PGA golf thing, they kind of translated onto the chart, like with you, the whatever it is that you were doing there? Do you think however you kind of took it with you onto the charts?
In some ways, yeah. Like the patient side. Golf is such a patient game.
Yeah.
But it's a very mental game as well. It's 100% one of the most mental strength sports out there. Yes, it's a difficult sport, and it can work on your nerves. It can make you angry. So the thing is, it definitely taught me how to control my emotions in difficult times and in good times. In good times, you don't want to go crazy and like go crazy. You take it like, yes, well done, move on. So I think, controlling your emotions, that from the golf transferred over to the trading helped quite a lot. With losses, I'm like, okay, cool. So it doesn't affect me. And obviously in times where, mentally I'm not as where I want to be in strong, a loss will affect me. Let's be honest. Nobody likes losing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a loss. It's part of the game. It's not fun having a loss. I don't like taking losses. It's not fun. I think nobody likes taking losses. So, but in the end of the day, people always say you shouldn't have emotion in the markets. You should be emotionless, but we're all human.
Yeah.
Emotions is part of who we are. So it's more of controlling your emotions. If you can manage to control your emotions, I feel like that will help quite a lot. Because let's say, for example, I had a bad day. Cool. I'm already having a bad day off the charts. Now I go on the charts and I take a loss. It's like a snowball effect. It just gets worse and worse. So I'm feeling much worse now. I go into a new trading day feeling much worse. And now I have to make that back with that mindset of, I have to make it back now. No. Anyways, you go into a new day quite negatively. What do you expect to achieve on the charts if you go in negatively? That's the thing. So there's like stuff that I just figured out for myself, when to trade, when not to trade, what to do when I'm feeling a bit off or down, or when I've taken a loss. Like, what do I do to kind of get myself back up and feeling on top of the game and confident? So that, that can be whatever hobby it is, going for a drive, listening to music, playing some games, going through my diary, reading through all the stuff I've achieved in the past, going through the goals and stuff I want to achieve in life, and that kind of gets me back up. And I feel like, no, I'm ready for it. Tomorrow I'm ready to go again. But if you don't do that, you'll just spiral into more darker place every day. And that's happened to me a couple of times. That's why, I've managed to work out, a way to kind of get off of and out of that position. But I mean, trading is not easy. I'm losing flip on my hair. And the sad thing is, I'm going gray, bro. Like, I have a lot of gray hair. Listen, a lot of gray hair on the side. It's not like I'm losing my hair like crazy. I have good genes with hair, but I've had much more hair in the past. I've had this bush of a hairstyle. And I'm like, well, that's trading, eh? If you want, I'd rather be bald and rich than have a lot of hair and not rich.
Now probably you understand why some of the rich guys don't have hair.
They bald, The sun is shining off their heads beautifully because the money in the pockets are full.
No, that's beautiful. So, I actually want to talk about the psychology between trading personal funds and funded funds, because I know my psychology is very different, and it's just like, and especially I feel like also switching over between the two and trading at the same time. Did you find, were there any difficulties there?
I would say sometimes it was actually beneficial trading both at the same time, because when I trade funded, I don't stress at all. Like, it's not a lot of money that went into it. I just pay for the challenge, and like once I've made a withdrawal, I get the deposit back. Now it's just free cash, basically, from there on forward. So when I enter, like, I'm never scared of losing. I'm not. It doesn't affect me. I always feel like I will make it back and I will make profit. But with a personal, after a loss, that immediately affects you. I just lost actual money now. I'm in drawdown. I need to make it back and then make more to make profit. So it's like a step back. I need to take a few steps to come back up. But while trading both, it sometimes makes it easier for me to trade personal, because I enter trade so much easier on funded, because, I don't really care. It's not my money. And it's not like I'm losing any money, basically. I know for a fact I'll bring it back and make profit off of it. And entering them both at the same time makes it so much easier for me to enter on personal. Like, I feel like the personal is also funded, kind of. Like, I don't know why I feel like that, but that's kind of what I started doing, actually just by like accident trading them at the same time. But I felt like it becomes so much easier. And I went kind of on a good streak because I'm entering them both at the same time, which feels like I'm just trading two funded at the same time, but the one is obviously personal. So that kind of made me feel like this is maybe a good strat to trade both at the same time. And it's just been working really well for me still till today. Like, if I trade just personal, I get that feeling of, it's personal money. It affects me, emotionally and everything. Whenever, whatever happens, a win or loss. But if I trade funded, it's just like I just enter and I leave the trade. I forget about it completely. And when I go back on, it's hit TP or it's hit stop loss. I'm like, oh, I forgot about the trade. But with personal, you want to check that thing the whole time. You want to check there. Oh no. That's why I play games. When I enter a trade, I don't want to touch that phone. I don't want to do it. Because I had this habit of closing trades early, around 1%, like so 1-to-1. But it's not. Later on, I was like, it's not worth it, man, because all the trades that I close early goes to TP, all of it. And I'm like, why? I could have made so much extra. So I started doing that while playing games, while I'm trading, while I'm in a trade, chuck the phone away and play games. I give it a few hours. Realistically, if I have a setup, let's say on the 15-minute, then I have to give it like 2 hours at least. Let's see what happens in 2 hours, 3 hours time, and then I can check it out. And then I started putting out alerts. Put an alert on my stop loss. I put an alert at, I think it was 50% profit or 50% the target. And once it gets to 50%, then I'll move stop loss to break even. So this is like so many things that I figured out for myself. I never had a mentor or anybody that could help me. I had so many questions throughout my whole trading career, like, I wish I can type in a question on Google and Google can answer it for me, like exactly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I felt lost on the in the charts, man. Like even till today, like there's just random days where I look at the charts and I'm like, what am I looking for here? Actually, like I don't know what to look for. I don't see a setup. Am I like blind or what's happening? But I don't know. That might just be a psychological thing, you know. Then I just switch it off and chill for the day. But still till today, the psychology, I'm still building. I feel like you can never perfect your psychology, but you can get really close to it if you really focus on it quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest journey in trading for me was psychology over skill. The skill for me, I feel like trading is actually so simple. You should not overcomplicate it because there's so many things to put on your charts and this and that. And if it does this and this order block and that and this, like there's so many things. But at some point I did everything. Like I went through all the courses, everything. I read so many things about this strategy, this, that. And at some point I got so confused looking at the charts because then I see this from this, like let's say strategy, and then I see this and it just didn't work out. But then I went back to basics, literally simple market structure basics.
Yeah.
After just focusing on that, I must say like the past year has been skill-wise my best looking trading year. The trades that I took was just such nice trades. I finally, got to the point where I hold everything. I don't rush a trade. I don't feel FOMO entering early. I will literally just enter if I see everything that I want to see. It's like I'm just full of nonsense. Like I am so full of nonsense when it comes to the charts nowadays. I need to see what I want to see, and if I don't, I don't care.
Yeah.
But obviously that comes in clutch if you look at the results on a longer time. I might not take as many trades. Like I think I take more or less depending. I have different accounts. Some accounts I like scalping. I always loved scalping in out, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, in correlation with the 1 hour time frame. Then I like doing it. So it's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
So I have an account for that, and then obviously accounts for just normal trades that I take.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what time frame it is. I trade wherever I see what I like to, obviously. So yeah, it's become more chilled. Where trading felt like I'm going to war now. Cool, I'm getting my helmet and my gun. I'm ready to go in. Now it's just more like a chess game. One move at a time. Rustig. Quite chilled.
Yeah, no, and the goal of a successful trade is to make the best trades, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hearing basically from you. It's just like right now you're just chasing those trades.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your approach to the markets on the chart?
So for me, I start literally at the top monthly, but I don't do much there. I literally just look for what the monthly is doing basically. Is the monthly like trending or is it consolidating? I go down to the weekly. So the weekly is where I kind of get some key levels that I look at for. Obviously, I want a very strong key level. And key level for me that's like really strong is if it gets tested from both sides properly. So a resistance and support. That's only the key levels that I look at and that I actually use and trade off of. Obviously, identifying the trend. Are we trending, consolidating? And I might look sometimes at the weekly low. Obviously, the weekly open, the close, and the high. That kind of gives me like minor areas of like resistance and support. And same thing daily, but the 4 hours where I plot out setups. That's where I focus on the market structure. What's the trend at the moment? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? What daily? What was yesterday? What's the last few days? Bullish, bearish, or consolidating? And I write it all down for myself because I don't want to go over the charts from every time frame every single day. So I write it all down and then I give my bias, like I'm expecting this weekly to do this, depending on, if we are training on consolidating, if we're consolidating, well, this weekly might do this. Like I always try and visualize the future a little bit, kind of, that's what you want, if you want to call it that. And go down to 4 hours, like I said, plot out my charts completely. The thing is, I might just enter sometimes off the 4 hour. For me, the 4 hours, just the structure, the market structure is just so pure. Like key levels are like so well tested that I just like what I see. The candlesticks, the candlestick closures, the rejections, everything, I love it. So for me, I like trading, I don't know what you want to call it. I just trade market structure. So if, let's say, for example, the market is bullish, obviously. New highs were made, came back down, pull back, high, low, but obviously there's a consolidation phase or it's starting to trend to the upside. So I look for traffic on the left side where we drop down. So I look for traffic. If there's not a lot of traffic, where the market just fell quickly down, started consolidating, and then start, on the smaller time frames with the uptrend, then I'll wait for the most recent lower high to be broken. Because if we broke that previous lower high, that means that there's no traffic on this side up to all the way up to test the previous high. So it should be a quick run back up there.
Okay.
So I like taking trades like that where there's not a lot of traffic. Sometimes the market just does this, but slowly to the downside. And sometimes it does this, the proper big drops. There's nothing stopping it, it just drops completely or shoots up completely. So I look for that. There is a word for it. I watched a YouTube video the other day where a guy explains this. I never saw this on a video or anything regarding the traffic. It's just something I started realizing on the charts. And I can't remember. He used this abbreviation, like ATR, or it was like 3. I can't remember what it was. I'm going to lie if I say. But he explained it completely the way I did. So that's what I'm literally trading. I'm waiting for an area where there's no traffic. The market just moved completely. And it's obviously the important key levels that I use there is the lower highs, the higher lows, the lows and the highs.
Okay.
That's mostly what I look for. Obviously, in the market, you get, like I said, a major key level for me is if it's a key level that's been tested and properly rejected from both sides as a resistance and a support. So I combine that, obviously. So, like I said, if a setup like that forms on the 4 hour, that will be a massive trade because now I can go down to a lower time frame and possibly get a really nice risk to reward ratio trade. But if that happens on the time frame that I usually trade, so it's like the hourly, 15-minute, 30-minute, then it's usually like a 1 to 2 setup, 1 to 1.8 to 1 to 2 with the same thing. I don't want traffic. I want a clean trade. I want to think if it breaks that key level, it will 100% go test the previous lower high. So that's a fast move and a fast trade, or supposed to be. So that's kind of literally just what I look for every single day. If the structure is choppy, there's nothing for me really. But if the market is moving like that and it leaves areas with low traffic like that, then that's what I love to trade. Yeah. And the thing is, I only realized that like a year ago, that thing with the traffic thing that I've explained now. And I watched that YouTube video. It was beginning this year, actually. I watched this. And the guy's not even famous on YouTube. It was like over an hour video. But this guy sounded like he's explaining something that makes sense, that I've seen, but I've never heard anybody else explain it. So I was like, maybe this guy actually has some proper knowledge and not just taking knowledge from another famous guy posting something and doing his own thing. And I saw that there, and he used it basically the same way, just a small differences on how he enters. But and now I'm just kind of playing around with extra confirmations on how can I better this, how can I make the win rate a little bit better, or make, just try and work with what I have and make it better basically in the end of the day. But
but it seems like you have quite a good system on your hands, because most traders take a good system and destroy it by trying to make it a perfect system.
That's the thing. That's the thing. What a lot of people do is they try and perfect it to the point where they want a 90% win rate or 80% win rate, and now they don't get that and they get frustrated. That's kind of like what I did back then. And then they try something new because that didn't work now, because they're still chasing the 80-90% thing. That's the best thing out there, but that does not exist. In the end of the day, there's hundreds of strategies out there. I mean, like, there's so many. Like, if you enter from a candle break, where's your stop loss? If you enter on a break and a retest, if you trade certain, just candlestick formations, if you trade off of supply and demand areas, if you like, there's so many different ways to trade. But to me personally, I tell everybody that I help with trading, you should build something around your personality. If you like fast paced, don't go try and swing. You won't like it. If you don't like it, you won't really you won't enjoy the process, and that'll stop you from getting better. For me, I like fast paced stuff. I like fast paced. I don't like swinging for days. If there's a really, like, out of nowhere, just a massive, amazing, like, setup where I know this thing, like gold, for example, I know this thing is flipping going bullish for how long, and I have the opportunity to get into a trade, I'll swing it, yeah. But I'm not gonna go swing every single day. I like scalping. I find it, like, enjoyable. I literally enjoy scalping. So build something around your personality, but use kind of like this knowledge. That's I think that's the problem that a lot of people face, is they start with trading and they feel like, okay, well, I should swing because this guy says I must swing.
Yeah.
And then they don't like it at all. And I mean, if you don't like it, like, you'll definitely feel like at some point it's not working, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, you're out here swinging, but you're checking your trade every 30 minutes.
Exactly.
15 minutes.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I know a few good swingers, awesome stuff. That's good. I know a few good scalpers. That's awesome. That's good. But I don't see why people hate on different trading styles. Like, they pretend like sometimes swinging is much more skillful than scalping. To me, it's different. It's completely different. You can't really compare or say this one is better or that one's better. It's like, respect each other. Like, we all traders, we all work together. At the end of the day, we should be a team, actually.
Yeah.
So I don't get why people beef and stuff like that over, well, you trade like this, and I'm like, huh? Really? Come on.
It's like, yo, we're just trying to extract money from this market. That's
if I make money scalping, I make money. If you make money swinging, you make money. At the end of the day, you just want to make money. What works for you works for you. So you can't look down on someone and be like, okay, well, you're a scalper, so it's not the same. Like, what if I make more money than you? So then you still look down on me because I'm scalping, like, or maybe he makes more money than me and I talk bad about him. That's why I don't talk bad about people, because it always comes back to you, and that's how it is. So, trading, see, man, it's a crazy thing. But the thing is, for me, that just find something that works for you and that you enjoy. That's it, and build on top of that. Never change it. If you find something that works, why would you change it?
Yeah,
just stick to it. If you have a 50% win rate, but you average 1 to 2s the whole time, you're profitable. That's all you need. So why go? Yes, you can maybe try and improve that. Maybe get it to 60% by trying to see if there's certain confirmations that you can rather use. But that's the game, man. You're just trying to perfect or get as close to a perfect thing that works for you. Makes you feel like you can get up every single day, look for the same thing. If you see it, take it, boom, do your thing, get out of the market. Don't go and overtrade and look for trades the whole day long. Like, I feel like if I start the day with a win in a London session, I'm done. Like, in my head, I'm done for the day, unless New York provides something that ticks all my boxes. But the thing is, I won't risk the same. I'll risk half of the profits that I've made today already. So that if I take the loss, I'm still profitable for the day. Because to me, it's important to end profitable, or as, let's say I have a losing day, I'll risk 1%, or 1%. Let's say I lose the 1%. The second trade, I'll risk 0.5% to make 1% or maybe 1.5, depending on the risk to reward ratio. After, let's say, for example, I win that, I'll be on break even or slightly in profit. I'm happy with that. But let's say, for example, I take a loss and I take another loss for the day, 2 out of 2 losses, then worst case scenario, I'm minus 1.5% for the day. That won't affect you mentally. I feel like that's one good trade away.
Yeah.
So I started like implementing certain rules on how I can keep my mental state and I'm feeling the best it can possibly be going into a new trading day. So with stuff like that implemented, that's what I said. Like it just feels like it just becomes more chilled. Trading becomes chilled, but when you are like banging it, let's say you are up 5%, 4% for the month, what stops you from risking 2% to try and make 4 or 6? You know, that's kind of where you make the big leaps, because sometimes you just have that month or that week or that day where the trades align and everything just, you know, goes really well.
Yeah.
And that's where you put yourself in the position to actually, you know, make some extra and maximize your wins. So that's all it's about, trying to minimize your losses, because let's be honest, and that's me as well, I think that's everybody, if you have a stop loss in place and your trade goes a little bit into profit and it goes to drawdown, you won't close that thing. You will hope that it turns around.
That is true.
You will hope that it turns around.
Yeah, but I think so many people do struggle with that, because I think that hope right there, and I've heard so many people say, no, cut your losses and let your winners run.
Yes.
But perfecting that particular statement there, I think that's a
battle.
It's the biggest battle.
That's something that took me years, actually. Like I only recently started to actually fully implement that in a way. I cut my losses short. If I don't see what I want to see, you know, at that area, then I'm not gonna hold it to stop loss. I'm like,
it's that thing of like, no, it's gonna come back.
Yes, I hope, you know, you're hoping the whole time it will turn around. But meantime, like this thing is showing you all the bearish signs possibly.
Yeah.
But you hoping it turns around because that's the setup.
But I feel like it's when it comes back, when it hits you the most. It's like, how do you deal with that feeling right there? Is that, okay, it goes into drawdown a little bit. You decide, nah, let me cut my loss as early as possible. And then right there, it just shoots back in your direction. How do you deal with that, like being content with that?
I must be honest, at the moment, that does not really faze me, because, you know, I find joy in following discipline. It gives me joy. Like if I take a loss but I followed everything I can possibly do the best way possible, I'll feel happy with that, because now I can, you know, I have an opportunity to learn why I took a loss there. So I go back there and see, okay, cool, well, I misjudged this, or I mislooked this, or I don't know why this thing turned around. Maybe there was news. There must be a reason, you know, why it did that. So I go back to that. So it actually happened to me, I think last week, I cut a loss short. I didn't see the move that I wanted to see at that time, and it formed bearish candles. It was a buy that I took, and I wasn't happy with it. I was like, well, this isn't looking to be bullish at all. Like, let's be honest. So I closed it early, and literally a few candles later, it was, I think it was the 15-minute, it had a massive engulfing candle that engulfed like 3 or 4 candles that was bearish. After that candle closed, I jumped in stop loss below that, because that candle actually broke through the range again, formed a new high. Yeah. And I entered on him, stop loss below that breakout candle's low, and then boom, the trade hit, and, you know, ended being profitable there. But I think if I didn't cut my losses short, it might have been a break even. I closed, it wasn't like a really high risk reward trade. I think it was like a 1 to 1.5 or something. But that shows that, oh, cool, in that scenario, it worked. I still ended on being profitable. But in the past, I would have held. And even in the past, I've changed like my stop loss. I move it down, like this thing must go up. I will move it down till it goes up. That's the worst thing you can ever do. And I've quickly got rid of that. Got rid of that, because that taught me a massive lesson, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I've always heard people say, minimize your losses and maximize your wins. Yeah, I've heard it, and yeah, I try it. But it's never been like a realistic thing that's part of my trading. Okay. But I must say, this year, so far, I've been really happy with that. It's the first time I actually implemented it like the right way, I would say. In the past, I would let it run to stop loss. I'll be like, if it did stop loss, it did stop loss. That's where I put the stop loss for a reason. But now I'm kind of like figuring it out. If I don't see the move, what I want to see at that time, I'm a very like, what's the word? Like an action-packed trader. Like I wait for that level. If that level is broken and there's no traffic to the left, this thing should break and it should move to that point.
Yeah.
If it breaks and it's still struggling, consolidating, struggling, that's not what I want. I'll get out of the trade, and once I have another break of that little small zone it forms there, then I'll jump in again, and then it should be running. That's kind of what I'm chasing. So at the moment, sometimes when it reaches the previous like lower high, that if I'm gonna buy, the previous lower high will be my TP. And now what I've been doing is I'll close off half of it and try and see if we can run another to the next lower high, try and maximize the win as much as possible. In the past I couldn't do that. When it goes to TP, it's TP, I'm out. But then this thing continued going like, okay, well, I know how I can do that, but I'm struggling with it. I'm happy with what I just made. But in the end of the day, you need to maximize your wins. In the long run, it'll just make you much more profitable, because like I said, there's times and days and weeks where you're just not there. The market isn't there. You might not take any trades. You get frustrated because there's no setups. And then you take a trade, which is a bad setup, because you just want to trade something and you take a loss. So you're actually going backwards. That's kind of where the patience comes in. You only trade what you used to and what you said. I've gone through multiple times where I got frustrated. There's no proper setup. I want to take a trade. I want to make money, but there's nothing. So I end up taking anything that I kind of see. And that's where you take losses. And that can be a spiral. I mean, if your discipline is not good enough, you can overtrade, and then you can revenge trade, and then you blow your account or whatever worst case scenario can be for you. So it's not for everybody trading, obviously, as we know. But I love the game, man. I like grinding something and seeing, like progress. I think that comes from the games. I like playing a game where you progress through the game. Level 1, 2, 3. At that level you get that. At that level you get that. So you enjoy going up there and seeing how much stronger, more skilled, better you get. So to me, I like that. Trading made me a complete different person. Like I never used to be so patient and calm and to control my emotions. Like I'm talking about with people, with family, with friends. Like I would just snap. You get angry, snap, and you say things that you before you think. Trading taught me so many things to life. Like I completely changed into a person that I'm like really happy and proud of. But if I think back on how I was before trading, yes, it was much different. So I feel like trading is actually, like, in my opinion, a must, like a skill that will, obviously it can make you money. Yes, it's risky, you can lose for sure, but I feel like it's definitely something that helps you find yourself and be like it depends on how serious you take it, make you a much better person as well in life, with everything regarding maybe making money in different ways, but your personality adapts to trading, and definitely makes a massive impact on you as a person for sure.
Yeah, no, that's great. No, beautiful. Yeah, that you have just come and just like dished it all out, and I appreciate it. I appreciate that so much. I hope you guys at home or wherever you're watching from or listening from appreciate that. Before I let you go, what has been the biggest loss you've taken on the charts? And it doesn't have to be a monetary term. It can just be like a loss where you felt like, there I lost.
Okay, I would say, I think it was 100K. It was a full account, funded 100K, and I just blew the account like literally within a few seconds. It was trading news.
Oh yeah. So what was the lesson there?
Lesson is I don't trade news anymore. It was just gambling basically, man. If I want to gamble, I'll go play slots rather than doing that. Yeah, for sure. You'll get a bit more. A few more minutes of joy gambling at slots than trying to trade CPI or something. Enter a minute before it opens. So don't try that at home, please. But yeah.
No, that's beautiful. No, thank you so much, Garin, for coming through today.
Sure, I appreciate
and
it.
just like sharing your story as well with the people. And I hope that it can just it touches someone's life or changes even just one life. I really do believe so. And
any help is good. I'll take that.
No, perfect. All right, now I'll leave your details down below. I don't know for what you'll decide what you do with that.
Awesome. No stress.
I'll leave your handles down below, Instagram handle, everything. If people want to follow you, they can do that. And yeah, no, thank you so much, Garin Hoole.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Right?
You got it right. Perfect.
All right, no, thank you
Thanks,
guys
brother.
so much. All right, thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Nqobile Tembane, and this was another episode of Market Masters where I sat down with Garin Hoole today. And thank you to Octa for making this Cape Town tour possible. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you, and we out.
Cheers.